Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be taking you through, in my opinion, what Claudio's good matchups are, matchups that I think is quite equal like with both ways, and really bad matchups for him. I know these are my own opinion, but I'd be very surprised if people actually thought different. But obviously leave it in the comments if you feel like there's something different and your reasoning behind it why, but we'll just do it in the order that it's set out for. So Heihachi I would put in equal, just because basically obviously I know Heihachi hasn't got any good lows because they're all launch punishable, basically same as Claudio, but apart from obviously the sidestep 4, all of ours are launch punishable, so we're quite even in that. In terms of neutral, I think both characters are quite balanced against each other. There's nothing that one character overpowers the other with. So I'd say that matchup is quite even. Kazuya, equal. I don't think it's a bad matchup. Obviously, Kazuya's playstyle is 50-50, so it's obviously all about if you're gonna duck or if you're not gonna duck. But obviously, that's nothing like against Claudio or like that. That's just how Kazuya plays against everybody. So I don't feel like is a bad matchup or a good matchup. I think if Claudio had better ways of keeping his go, then it would favor Claudio, because Kazuya's neutral is not the best, but a lot of Claudio's stuff, once you use it, that's it, your go's over. Unless it's slow stuff, for instance, forward 4 and up forward 3, you know, your plus frame moves are very, very slow. So Kazuya could just down forward 2 you out of them, whereas he doesn't have anything else to, like, you know, keep his go with. So I'd say the matchup's quite equal. Jin, I think, is a really bad matchup for Claudio, if not his worst. The reasoning behind this is because Jin's neutral is really good anyway. You know, he's standing 4, he's down forward 1, he's back 2-1, I believe it is, forward 4. You know, he's got an electric, he's got a hell sweep, he's got the mid hook, whatever it is, at crouch dash 1. But one of the main things is his parry. So basically, if you're playing against a good Jin who knows the Claudio matchup, you cannot delay forward 1+2, 1+2. You cannot delay down forward 3-1. You cannot do down 1-2. You cannot do his rage drive delayed, or if you're with the first hit, or like back 4-1, anything like that, because Jin can just parry it into down 3+4 and launch you for it. Every one of these can be launched. It's not like a parry into a 2-4. Every one of them can be launched with his can kicks. So I think this matchup is really, really bad, because you're having to give up so much as a Claudio player to just cope in the matchup, I guess. So I just think it's absolutely awful. Akuma, I think, is a really good matchup for Claudio, because I think Claudio's movement's really good in terms of his sidestepping and that, and that's what you need to do against Akuma. He has good anti-airs with his jabs. His jabs are brilliant. Standing free is probably his best anti-air. Hop kick even anti-airs, so I believe that's really good. He's got good range as Claudio, and Akuma needs to be in for the clean hit down 3, and Claudio can keep you out with back 1, forward 3, down forward 4, you know, stuff like that. So I think the matchup really does favour Claudio against Akuma. Obviously, that doesn't mean, all this stuff doesn't mean that you're going to beat these characters. I'm saying that I just believe that it's an easier time with Claudio against Akuma. Lars, equal. I know Lars isn't considered anywhere near as a good character. In fact, one of the worst in the game, apparently. Not too sure. I don't want to get into stuff like that. But playing against a lot of Lars players, don't feel like either character has anything over the other character that could define it to be bad or a good matchup. I feel like it's equal. Again, both very punishable lows. Lars obviously has a lot of fake pressure through his stances and stuff, but other than that, nothing in particular. Alyssa, I'd put Alyssa as I don't know. It's between bad or equal. I'll put it in bad. Alyssa's movement and the way she controls spacing with little chippy lows and into the sidestep really makes you as a Claudio player have to start committing to stuff like back 1, just because of the movement that she has. And obviously Her backdash is unbelievable. So it can be quite difficult. And when she's doing stuff and you know she's going to step and you have to commit to back one, the Alyssa player will probably know this and then start just taking the turn anyway. So if, for instance, if they put themselves at -2 and you're having to use back one to try stop them from stepping, they've got, for instance, like, what is it? So back one's 18 frames, so they have like 16 frames to work with basically to do a move before, you know, before yours hits. So it can be quite difficult, but it depends on how the Alyssa plays, I guess, and what the matchup would actually be like, but it can be very difficult. Hwoarang, I would have put good before the recent patch, but I'm going to put equal because Claudio struggles against characters who have good pressure, and obviously Hwoarang's pressure is kind of, you know, it's kind of good. Now, a lot of Hwoarang stuff, Claudio can hop kick through, which is why it used to be good. He still can hop kick through quite a lot of his stuff, but Hwoarang got a lot of frames adjusted and moves adjusted whatsoever, which kind of makes it harder to hop kick through and step after certain moves. And obviously Claudio struggles against pressure characters anyway, so I believe this matchup is now equal. But I feel like it used to be quite good because of Claudio's movement himself, stepping through the strings or just hop kicking through a lot of the stuff. But now I feel like it's equal. Devil Jin, equal. I don't believe any of these Mishimas have anything that can lock down Claudio or that Claudio can lock down them, apart from obviously the sidestepping left. But again, Devil Jin got some decent tracking moves, so I think the matchup's quite equal. Nothing on either side that I believe is, you know, that can kill either player. Nothing too much. Dragunov is a bad matchup. I think Dragunov's a bad matchup because of Dragunov's pressure with a running 2, back 1+2, down 1-2. His neutral pokes, for instance, down forward 4, down forward 1, down 2. I think Dragunov can lock Claudio down very, very well. He has a parry, so he can parry a couple of stuff. Obviously, it's not a drastic parry like Jin's, but it's a parry, and it's an easy input as well. But yeah, I think Dragunov kills Claudio for pressure-wise and stuff. I think it's quite a difficult matchup. I'd still obviously go with Claudio against any character, but I feel like a very good Dragunov is very hard to beat if you're playing Claudio. Paul, I think Paul's a good matchup because Paul's go to low is -14, which is the quarter circle forward 3. We have a really good 14 frame punisher in the full crouch down forward 2-2 or full crouch down forward 2 1+2. So if they're near the wall, you're going to get a wall bounce out of it. We get a very good punish on Death Fist with the 1+2 string. We get a very good punish on a non-clean hit Demo Man. So if they do the full string, you block it, you can do back 4-2 or Rage Drive. And I think you can work your way around Paul quite well with the jabs, etc. And back 3, I think you can outpoke Paul. Obviously, he's got the down forward 1. But it's obviously down forward 1, down forward 1, back 4, you know, there's a few highs. So they'd have to commit to the mids, which are interruptible, and or the low and stuff like that. You know, I think Paul requires a lot more commitment to the stuff to lock down Claudio than what Claudio would do against Paul. Obviously, Paul has a really good throw game, but if you're breaking throws, it's fine. But I think in terms of Paul's best moves, Claudio counters it like very, very well. Law is a bad matchup, depending on how you play. Law standing 4, very, very fast, very, very good. Counter hit Magic 4. It can lock down Claudio very, very well. Honestly, if you try to do stuff like fake pressure with like 1-2 or back 3 or, you know, using back 1, Law standing 4 can just whack you out of it instantly. It's quite difficult. If you ever use stuff such as while standing 2 and it misses, or, you know, the 1+2 string, you mess up a whiff punish. These are -14. Law has a 14 frame launcher, which is really, really good. Law can keep a lot of good pressure on with his jab strings, his down back 3, stop you from sidestepping with an I-14 mid that tracks. Obviously he's got forward 1+2, plus on block, that can lock you down as well, and he's got some really good lows, so I think law's quite a difficult matchup. Bob, equal. I don't feel like Bob's got anything, or we've got anything against Bob that can, you know, that's drastic, like that's worth going in a good or bad. I feel like it's quite even. Brian, again, even. Brian's a strong character, some good lows, some really good mid checks, obviously a taunt game, but I don't feel like Brian's got anything against Claudio, like specifically. You can lock Brian down with sidestepping right, and then Brian will have to start using tracking moves and stuff like that, and same works for both ways, so you know, I think it's quite an even matchup. Steve, I used to think was a bad matchup, but as time's gone on, I think it's equal. I think it's quite an equal matchup. Obviously, we have down back 3 to get under the highs for a counter hit launch when Steve's doing his, you know, his string stuff. But then again, it's -15. But we've got back 2 as a high crush. We do quite even. And then obviously on Steve's side, he has stuff like back 1, really fast moves that can stop Claudio from doing his fake pressure and stuff like that. So I believe that matchup is quite even. Nina, equal. Again, I don't feel like Nina has anything against Claudio specifically that can do any sort of damage towards the matchup. She's got a lot of pressure, like when she's near the wall and stuff, but she lacks range, and Claudio has good range, so that evens it out, I believe, in the matchup. Lily, is an equal matchup. She can move around Claudio quite easily, but then again, what's she gonna do with it in terms of her tools? Nothing so much. So the matchup wouldn't go either way really. She can move around Claudio quite easily. You know, if she's got one of the best movement in the game, but I don't feel like she's got anything that can drastically hurt Claudio in the matchup. So that's equal to me. Asuka, equal because yes, she has a parry, but you can chicken the parry. I know it's difficult to do, but you can do it. Obviously, we've got a few knee, it's like back 3 and forward 4, so we can like negate the parry with that. We've got a good back 3 punish in the 1+2 string or back 4-2. And I think we can control the neutral pretty well against Asuka. So it's quite even, but then again, Asuka can rob anybody with like can-cans, or if it's just a random back 3. She's got a few safe mid launches, so it's quite even. Ling is good. I believe it's a really good matchup. Ling basically can't go into AOP against a Claudio who knows how to play against Ling. He has a lot of good low hitting mids. For instance, the 1+2 string will hit, back 3, down forward 2, back 1 can hit, back 4-2 can hit as well at points. So it basically negates everything Ling does, and the hop kick is absolutely disgusting. It can just catch Ling doing anything really. It just shoots her in the air. Feng, I think Feng's a good matchup for Claudio. Feng's range lacks really bad. He has a pretty shitty hop kick, so he can't, you know, launch a few of Claudio's stuff for certain reasons that I don't know why. I've done down forward 1-2 and it's been inconsistent for the Feng player to launch. Feng's low, his main lows, so down back 3, launch punishable, quarter circle forward 1, -14 again, we have a really good 14 frame punisher, and I feel we can lock Feng down pretty easily. Leo, I would say, is equal. Nothing special from Leo. The box stance doesn't cause Claudio too much problems. Obviously, it can go under a lot of stuff, but then again, that's in every matchup. Neutral wise, I think it's quite even. Nothing too bad. Yoshimitsu, bad matchup. For people who don't know, I played against Kane and Trent, who's a very good Yoshimitsu player, and he went through a few stuff with the matchup for me, and doing stuff like down 1-2 and forward 1+2, 1+2, delayed and stuff. For instance, same as Jin, can parry quite easily. And I think Yoshimitsu is a crazy character anyway. You know, he's a party character. Neutral, decent, quite good. But I think he can just outplay Claudio with the tools Yoshimitsu's got compared to the tools Claudio's got. I feel like Yoshimitsu can just outplay Claudio and negate all his starburst stuff. So I believe that's a bad matchup. King, equal. King, okay, neutral. Obviously, mainly throw game is based. So I think King is equal. There's nothing either way that's good or bad for either character. Jack, I believe, is a good matchup for Claudio. 1-2 locks Jack down really well because they mainly have to commit to something like forward 2 to steal the go back. They can't just, so if you pressure him with 1-2, they can't do down back 1. They could try do 2-1, but they trade and reset the neutral anyway. So forward 2 is their go-to to lock down Claudio's jab pressure. But then again, if you've got the read on, if you're doing 1-2 and they're blocking it, you're gonna have the read. They're gonna do forward 2. You can duck, launch. I think Claudio can move around Jack pretty well. He's got decent wall combo on him, and Jack doesn't really have many get off me tools. So I think Claudio, if he gets him to the wall, can kill him. And obviously Claudio's hop kick and forward 3, stuff that low crushes quite well, would stop Jack's down back 1 pressure. And you can kind of lock down the forward 1 pressure because that's all Jack's going to really have to go to against Claudio. Katarina, equal. I don't feel like there's anything Katarina has which is drastic to Claudio. Same vice versa. I don't think Claudio has anything. Obviously she's got -14 lows and launch punishable lows, but other than that, I think the neutral's quite even, I'd say. Maybe Claudio has a bit more plus frames and stuff, but Katarina can just rob you anyway with stuff like getting clipped by forward 2 for the Harrier stuff, whatever. So I think that matchup's quite even. Kazumi, I think, is a good matchup for Claudio. She can't really do anything against like down back 3 and down 3. She doesn't really have out against that. Her main go-to stuff is jabs and down forward 1 with down back 4. You know, they're her main tools. Easily sidestep right, you know, when she's doing stuff like that. So she has to start using back 2, and then Claudio can just like insert jab pressure there. Her down back 2 -14. The string is -14. Claudio again, very good -14 frame punish. And I think Claudio locks down Kazumi very, very well. Gigas, equal. Some combos can be quite awkward on Gigas. For instance, if you're doing down 2-2, you need to crouch cancel forward 3, or you have to go to the up forward 3+4, which is obviously you lose quite a bit of damage there. But again, Gigas can lock you down with the 1 jab. Claudio can go under it. I don't know. There's stuff in each way of that matchup, but I believe it's equal. Claudio, equal, whatever. Shaheen, equal. Shaheen's got a slide mix-up, which is good. Whatever. Claudio's got a sidestep mix-up, so that sort of evens that out. Both good neutral pokes. Claudio's got the better plus frame pokes, but I believe it's quite even on the neutral ground. Jose, even. Obviously she's got a switch stance stuff, but it's, you know, you can deal with it by interrupting a lot of the strings with 11 frames or less, or ducking the high. Neutral wise, quite even. Both got some very good tools against each other, so not a problem in that. Master Raven, even. I believe obviously she's got the parry and stuff like that, but I don't believe that it's a massive factor in this matchup. In neutral, both can go toe-to-toe against each other. Not a problem there. Lucky Chloe. Good. I think Lucky Chloe's good because of you can lock down a Chloe player quite well. We have a good punish on her hop kick. Hop kick does reach for us quite a lot of the time. Her Cali roll shenanigans, back 1 can knock them out of it and screw them. all the time. So you can lock down the collar roll right there. We've got back 3, a good tool to interrupt it if we need to. I think we can output Chloe. Obviously we have a hop kick as well, so when she does stuff like sidestep 4, we can hop kick through quite a lot of the stuff she has as follow-ups. So I think it's a good matchup for Claudio. Eddie, good matchup for Claudio. Back 3 is literally all I need to say. Back 3 against Eddie completely locks Eddie down. There's not much you can do against it. He can't really do anything out of relax because back 3 will float him. It picks up relax. It fucking interrupts near enough all of his stuff. It's a very, very good tool against Eddie, so I think that's why the matchup favours Claudio. Eliza favours Claudio. She can't dive kick pressure you. So for instance, well, she could, but right. So the dive kick pressure at the wall, if Eliza dive kicks, they want to jab to confirm the quarter circle back 1+2 or the DP for instance. So if Eliza does quarter circle instant dive kick, she's plus on block, so it is her go. If she does either down 3 or jabs to try confirm something and you've blocked it, if you hop kick, it goes straight through it. Again, she's 2D, so you can move around her quite easily. She lacks range, so you can just move her move around forward 3, down forward 4, keep her away. She only has one really drastic mid, which is the forward 2, which is the only safe strong hitting mid she has, which you can do from Moonglide, I guess. But a lot of the stuff is fake pressure that you can just get yourself out of by sidestepping or hop kicking and stuff. So I think the matchup definitely favours Claudio. Miguel, even. I don't see anything that Miguel has or we have against Miguel that can, change anything. Both good neutral. Obviously, we've got better range, I'd say, as a Claudio player. So we could keep him out from his little T-Rex arms, but other than that, quite even. Lee, I think, is a good matchup for Claudio because of down forward 4. So Lee's stance, which is his Hitman stance, a lot of when Lee goes into that stance, Claudio's down forward 4 basically option selects absolutely everything, especially the power crush, which I've recently just found out. So if they do anything into Hitman into power crush, if we do down forward 4, it kind of pushes us back. And then the power crush comes out whiffs, and then we get a free hop kick, and the other stuff, it just interrupts. The only thing I'm finding is if Lee starts sidewalking through Hitman, and then down forward 4 whiffs, but that's not a problem. That's when you can start taking your go after Hitman. In neutral, I think we can outplay a Lee player, because they'd have to commit to stuff like down 3, or he's standing 4 to get us off. So I think it's a good matchup for Claudio. Both bears is a good matchup for Claudio. We have a lot of good bear stuff. We have the 10 hit string as a wall combo. We obviously have a down forward 3, 2 down forward 3, 1 wall combo. We have a punish on forward 2. We have back 3 as a good tool when they're in hunting bear stance. If they do the power crush, we have shoulder to option select if they're going to the stance or not. We have a plus on block launcher in forward 3+4. We have sidestep 4 is natural counter hitting launcher. Like if you do dash up or 4-3+4, they cannot get out of that. So I think the matchup definitely favours Claudio against bears. Geese is equal. Geese can parry Claudio stuff, I guess, but obviously the input's a bit weird, so it can be messed up. Claudio can outspace Geese very easily. There's not much reason to duck against Geese. Because down 4 is literally all he's got. Down 2, every low he's got is basically his minus on hit, so you can take your go after it, I guess. But obviously a lot of Geese is like to do the power crush after it to steal the go back, but then that's a hard read for them and can end up getting them killed. In terms of Geese's 2 forward 1 and stuff, you can always duck after forward 1 because it's always a high or a special mid. So that kind of negates Geese's pressure a little bit. But I think due to the parry and Geese's tools such as back 3-2 and stuff, makes the matchup quite even. Noctis even. I believe Noctis, after playing Bolt a few times, got some good pokes down forward 1. His jabs, his down 3 can lock you down quite well into a bit of movement. Fast counter hitting with up forward 1 or up 1 but back 1, whatever it is. Decent full crouch game. Again, Claudio could pressure him. Has no like dick jab, so he can't get out of a few stuff. But the matchup's quite even, I believe. Lei. Now, I don't like Lei personally, but the matchup is quite even. From what I've been told by other Claudio players that know the matchup fully. I will get to know this guy eventually, but for now I normally pick Eliza. But I've always picked Claudio against him in tournaments, but I think I might pick Eliza. I think the matchup's a bit better. But Lei for Claudio, I think it's quite even. Obviously, we've got the forward roll 3+4, down back 3, down 3, stuff to hit him quite low. Obviously, Lei like to be on the floor a few times, you know, dance around you a bit. And we've got some good hitting tools for that. And then obviously, Lei can just rob you anyway by going under stuff or, you know, getting around you somehow. So I think that evens the matchup quite a bit. Anna, equal 50-50 game of Anna is strong, but neutral wise I think we win. I feel like we've got better pokes and stuff than Anna has. I feel like she has to commit a lot more than we do, but then again she can just rob you if you guess wrong, so I think the matchup's quite even. Marduk I think is a good matchup for Claudio. Obviously we get specific stuff on the big body, but in terms of movement I feel like we can lock down Marduk quite well with the sidestepping and stuff. He doesn't have quite a lot of his mid pokes and stuff are quite slow. The ones that do the most damage and stuff, I feel like he has to commit to a lot of stuff where we can just get around it. He can't launch any of his lows, apart from down back 4-3. He can't launch anything, so I think the matchup definitely favours Claudio against Marduk. Armor King, equal. I believe it's an equal matchup. There's nothing too drastic. Obviously, Armor King's not considered one of the strongest characters, but neither is Claudio, I guess. I guess he's up there, but again, in the neutral, both can outplay each other. There's nothing drastic there. Julia, I think, is a bad matchup for Claudio. I think Julia's pressure's too much for Claudio in terms of what she has with the forward one, and basically all she needs is forward one against Claudio, because it goes under a lot of stuff, and there's always the extension, and it's only -2 I believe, so she can do follow-ups. She's got a full crouch game. She's got everything. She's got the wall carry. She's got the wall pressure. I think she just locks Claudio down very, very well, and I think it's a struggle to fight against a good Julia using Claudio. Negan, equal. Don't believe any character. I mean, either of these characters have anything against each other. Quite even. Nothing there. Fakuram, even. Obviously being considered a very, very strong character recently, but nothing against Claudio. Obviously his class is big body, so we get some big body stuff on him. In terms of neutral, yes, he has some good stuff, a lot of duckable stuff. Obviously, if you can make the read on the duck, interruptible, you can interrupt. We have like a fast counter here with down forward 2, we can interrupt a lot of his stuff when it's cancelled. Can be sidestepped, again we have good movement, but then again this character can mix you up with all that, whether you sidestep or duck or whatever. He always has the mix up, which I think evens it out a little bit. Ganryu, even. Again, I don't feel like there's nothing. Big body character, we get some stuff, but other than that, nothing drastic in that. I don't really need to get into much else on Ganryu. I don't think there's anything there. It's just whoever plays better in that matchup. Zafina is a bad matchup. Zavina can just rob Claudio so bad. She goes under a lot of his stuff, which is crazy. She's got very good pressure with a stance mix-up, and she's got some good plus frame moves, which against Claudio is key. If you can always keep your go against Claudio, it's very, very hard, unless we manage to get a panic hop kick and it works. But then again, we're risking that at -13. And then Zafina could, for instance, punish it with 1-3, and then you're back in a mix-up. Does she do a low? Does she go mid to plus frame, which is a knockdown? You know, it's quite difficult. And she can just go under a lot of stuff and rob you. I've played a few top Zafinas. I've played Spaghetti Rip, and I've played Kalak. And it was quite even in games, but I was struggling like really, really bad. I feel like it was an awful matchup. Leroy is a bad matchup. Just because of the parry, again, negates all the starburst stuff like down 1-2, forward 1+2 delayed, back 4-3-2. You can't use that in the neutral, but I don't know why you would anyway. But you can't rage drive on whiff or delay. You can't use a lot of his stuff can't use. Obviously can launch every single low. Good pressure tools, so down 3-2 and stuff like that. Hermit back 1 can, you know, very good down forward 1. And down forward 1-1 -1, you know, stuff like that. I believe he controls it very, very well. Claudio does have some stuff because he's got very good movement and can sidestep around a lot of his stuff. But I think overall, I think Leroy takes that matchup. So yeah, this is why I believe Claudio's good, equal, and bad matchups. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave it in the comments if you have any different opinions on certain characters. And thanks for watching.